is Daramouthe, and welcome to my channel. It's the day before the last day of the year because why not? I'm pretty sure there are a bunch of other people you'd like to watch, but hey, I'm pretty cool too. So, anyway, I'm joined by two very lovely people who are just on the internet as well. One is CVR or Culture Vulture Radio, which is a tongue twister after a while. He's a pretty cool dude. And then I have the
All
lady
right.
here. Yeah, sorry, one second. I had to take off the text. I have a lady herself. She calls herself Jewess or Jewey, as some of her friends call her, just to shorten it out. Um, but yeah, so we're here to talk about stuff since it's like the end of the year or whatever. Um, I figured I'd talk about one is I bought a new hat and I'll show you what. But I also wanted to talk a little about whatever talk about for the year. You know, we can. That's what the tagline I made a while back was topics of today to yesteryear. Because if you look throughout all of history, there's so much to talk about aimless crap. So we can go wherever. But so we'll start off with the first thing I talk about. So today I was at the mall, and there's a shop there that you can get a custom hat, and so I thought I'd like to get something with my username. Right now you can't see it because I have this rolling text, but my username Daramouthe. So what I did was I went to this place. I asked them what the price would be for like the hat and then putting it on, and I got it done. And of course it's done in my favorite color. So I'll go ahead and show it off. Well, I can't really show it off. I'll take my headphones off. One second.
Oh, that's very MAGA.
Well, red is my favorite color and it's white. It's just the contrast of coloring. So you can call it
Mm.
what you like, but I just figured it worked that everyone could see. So
Connor, very white supremacist.
everyone's a white
Okay.
supremacist. Everyone's a white supremacist now. But that's what I had made because I like the color red and because the white works well with that kind of color. So and it has my username on it. So wherever I go, people are like, "What's that name?" I said, "Look it up online." That's right.
Speaking of your name, by the way, because I know what that means, but I would say a lot of people don't know what Daramuth means or how did you get the name?
Well,
Why?
well, first off, it doesn't have a meaning because I didn't make a Britannica encyclopedia, so that can just be taken off. But the name itself is actually based off an alcoholic drink, which is funny because I don't drink.
Sweet vermouth.
So what?
Is it based off sweet vermouth?
Well, take the sweet off. It's just based off the word vermouth. So I played around with that word because I like making stuff up, and I heard the word. It's like chop suey. You know, you hear the word chop suey, and it's like, oh, that's pretty interesting. So I heard the word vermouth, and of course I knew it was an alcoholic drink, but that's not the point. I played around with it, and of course the uh, fan account that's out there, Vermouth, is it was the first iteration, and then after playing with it for a while, I got this. So the E is silent, and yes, it says mouth, and people will say Daramouthe, but it's not that. It's Daramouthe, as in like moose. So, and that's how I came up with it, is just playing around with vermouth, which I don't even know if that's a whiskey or whatever, but I know it's an alcoholic drink.
I like vermouth in my martinis. It's just fabulous.
Oh, well, we know what you drink at the end of the day.
Okay. No, I refuse to learn how to make a martini because I would drink way too many of them. So I've got wine,
Oh, well, there you
white
go.
woman drink.
Oh, there you go. Wine's not bad. I mean, well, it depends on the wine, but or how much you drink of it, obviously.
Well, that's today. It was brandy the other day.
Oh goodness. Next thing we'll hear about, I remember the time I had an absinthe and I was not there.
I have never
No,
had absinthe.
I had absinthe when I was 15 years old. My brother was so drunk that not the one that does the podcast, the other one. He was so drunk he gave me a bottle of absinthe, and I drank the entire thing.
Oh no.
I was fine. I was sober. I remember looking at him like an hour later, and I was like, "Dude, this shit sucks." And he's like, "Are you fucking out of your mind? That's expensive." And I was like, "I don't feel it. I'm gonna go back to playing video games."
So it wasn't Sean, it was the other brother
Yeah,
that gave it to you?
yeah, might be coming on. Maybe I might do a show Sunday. He might be on with that.
All right. Hadn't seen him on a show in a while. It's been a long time.
Yeah, he's got a lot of stuff going on at home. You guys are talking about drinks.
The Irishman's going to pull something out. I knew it.
Uh-oh. Well,
Where's
what is
the
it?
Irishman?
Is it going to
By
be
the
a
way.
Jaeger?
There's 2 of these bad boys.
Ooh,
Very nice. Very, very nice.
that's pretty cool.
But I got to be a good boy right now. I have to be a good boy because I have a show later, and it wouldn't be fair to myself.
Yeah.
Hey, drunk streams are kind of funny to watch people do, though.
I do good drunk streams, unless I don't talk for 10 minutes. If I don't talk for 10 minutes because we're watching a video, and then I go to talking, I'm like, and I'm like,
Or it's like this.
Yeah, you start
I
falling
never
over.
pass out. I usually look down at my phone when I'm on screen, so I'm sitting there doing this.
Mm.
Nice. Yeah, I don't drink, but then again, I live near a college town, so you kind of get used to that alcohol bushwhack, what do you want to call it? So you smell it. After a while, it just smells like horse piss. Alcohol just smells like horse piss to me. So that's why I don't even bother with it. I was offered wine for my 21st birthday, but I was like, no.
Have you always been like that? Like not
Like a teetotaler?
Yeah, teetotaler.
Yeah, because I was involved with someone who she was a waitress at a bar of whatever, and unfortunately there was a night. I just call it the night of the 12 mojitos, but she never had mojitos. It was just something fun to call it. And yeah, she got so drunk she started inviting people she knew well into the bathroom with her, but really nothing happened. It was just so it was like I've seen too many drunk people that to know that no, not to get involved with it because it gets dumb. It gets real dumb. I mean, it makes for entertainment, but I get to laugh at you and get to walk home. You have to learn how to walk again, so
Mm.
or crawl, whichever you want to do.
Usually, like when you guys do the VCs, I've already been drinking for like 4 hours, and I'm sitting there playing video games, and I'm pretty good. Like,
Yeah, usually you're really good. You wouldn't even know most of the time.
yeah,
I think it's the genetics, though.
Yeah, fair enough.
I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that at all. I'm not a teetotaler, but yeah, I'm not a big drinker though either.
Yeah. So I just don't do it because I've seen too many. Because my thing is from watching people always say, "Oh, I can moderate, I can do this," but after once they get past the point, they don't recognize what moderation is. Then it's like, well, what was the point in the first place of speaking on it? So it's like shooting yourself in the foot and calling it like a what's that? A flesh wound or something like that. I don't know where I remember hearing that, but it's just an odd thing to say and then go the complete opposite direction. So, but that's just me. I don't care if people drink. It's just I'll laugh at you when you get too far beyond the scope.
No, that's fair. I think that we are putting ourselves out there for ridicule and laughter, when we get drunk or high on drugs. And we come from the degenerate side of the internet. So like everybody on our side of the internet is an addict of some sort, just about.
On drugs, man. Never had
No,
any drugs.
we haven't. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Except for like Vicodin if it was prescribed to me.
Yeah. You were getting a little house, weren't you?
So I melted the top of my foot down to muscle and tendon. Like I degloved my foot, and I had to walk around for a month like that. But after the first week of taking what's the strong one, Vikes or Perks? Whatever it was super strong because it was it was a huge open hole in my foot.
Percocet or something like that.
Percocets are stronger, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, whatever it was. Like I walked around I did it for a week. Like I had to go in there and scrub this huge wound because the doctors were like, we have to put together a plan to like reconstruct your top of your foot and do skin grafts. And I took them for a week, and then there was one day where I missed it, and I just had a hard time sleeping, and I gave them to my mom. I was like 13, and I was like, yeah, I don't want this. And she's like, why? I was like, because I couldn't sleep if I didn't have them. I was like, I'm good. I'll take the fucking pain. I walked around for a month like that after pain. 2 months after surgery and recovery, didn't take them.
Yeah, I don't like pain pills. They make me very sick to my stomach. Extraordinarily sick. Ugh. So I'm kind of glad, or else, who knows? Who knows? I'm like, I'm not a speed, like I'm a speed person anyway. If I'm going to do drugs, it's got to be something that keeps me up. I do not like things that put me to sleep.
Shit, my dad used to get hooked on my dad for years was hooked in the 70s and early 80s on Quaaludes. And then what do they call it? Black Beauties?
I've heard of those.
They're like speed pills. But my dad used to do so many fucking Quaaludes. It was the stories he would tell you, and like you hear him, he's like a dry Quaalude now guy. Like he's like one of those dudes where he's like, yeah, those are some good times. It's like
Back in my day.
back in my day.
He tells all the Quaalude stories then is what he does.
Yeah. So my dad got really hopped up one night and he drove. This is the 70s. The cars looked like fucking boats. He drove into a telephone pole, went through it, and hit the second one, and he had to get cut out with the jaws of life. And then he went home and just popped Quaaludes to get rid of the pain. And it's like, you're a piece of shit.
No way.
Jeez.
That's insane.
That and his dad, you know, he's famous for his interracial porn and stuff.
Interracial gay porn.
Yeah.
Yippee-ki-yay.
It's apparently a running joke that gone on for like 25 years that his dad has no idea he's the butt of, and his friends have no idea is not the truth. So, yeah.
Wow.
They all think he made porn history doing interracial gay porn.
Oh, if he's the butt of, does that mean he's the catcher then?
To overpower a black guy? No fucking way. He's a big fucking dude, my dad. He's huge. He was 6'4" before he shrunk from old age. But
wow, is he still around or is he still kicking?
Yeah, he just turned 69.
Wow, nice. Well,
I called him and he was just like, I was like, "Happy birthday," and he's like, thanks," because he's like one of those like he just doesn't. He sounds like Harrison Ford. He just doesn't care. And I was like, "So you're 69?" And he's like, 69. And I was like,
nice.
That's a pretty cool number. And he's like, "What are you talking?" Oh,
yeah.
Just giggling into the phone.
Hey, Culture Vulture's here. That's cool.
We're all here together.
Yeah. And one day we're going to have your chat lit up like his is.
Yeah, that's fine. Rumble can take it.
Horniest people in the world.
Yeah, I was there that one time, and people were just not a picture, but a fluffer. That's right.
Oh, there's Randolph fans. Hey, Randolph.
I don't, but for me, and I'll just do this. I'll just say upon this because it's sort of the creator stuff. Like, the reason why I do the whole, and I'll let the audience know. I do have like a 5-word thing, whatever the words YouTube doesn't allow. At least for me, Culture can do whatever he's on the show or Jewey or whatever. But for me, it's sort of like I don't have that many people, and you may get like a warning for some whatever. It's just I don't just those 5 words, and then everything else after that is free for all, right? Like unless there's a word that comes up like, oh, I didn't know that, and then you kind of have to put it on the list. But it's sort of a case by case thing.
Like Negro, I can say, right?
Oh, go for it.
Okay, Negro.
That's right. You just can't go for.
Can I say nincompoop? No, I'm joking.
Nincompoop. I would have gone with nincompoop, but that word hasn't been used in a while. So
or knickknacks.
Knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone.
And knickknacks. Yeah, I love knickknacks. They're a bitch to clean, man. They never want to stay clean. Always dirty looking.
Or Nigeria, you could go for that too.
Listen, I love the country of Niger. Love it. I actually misspelled Niger like 30 times in a tweet about a year and a half ago, and it got me banned from Twitter. Just,
yeah.
Don't look that way. It's the truth. They are noble people. The country of noble joggers is what they are.
Yeah. I think you mean X. Put some respect on its name.
It was Twitter then.
I don't give it respect now after they suspended me for no reason.
Yeah, he's banned now, bad boy.
Yeah, I have a fan account. That's about it, but thankful for that. But the stinking thing, it was like Tuesday morning. I was at work, and all of a sudden I get this look on Twitter through the app, right? Not through web browser. I go through and I get a sign that says, you've been suspended. You're on read-only. Whoa, wait. Why am I suspended? You violated the terms, whatever. Like, what rules did I violate? So I was like, you can submit an appeal, whatever. I submitted appeals like, okay, what rules did I violate? I have got no email. Guess what they gave me? We reserve the right to take you out because you violated the rules, whatever. I'm like, but that doesn't explain anything. What rules did I violate? I'm willing to erase it. I'm willing to delete whatever post it was, but they can't give me one rule I broke. So it's like, wait, have you just suspended me because of magic? So I was like, yeah. So I don't know, but I lost my actual account. Now I did have the account Daramouthe a long time ago, but this was like in like 2020 or whatever. I just decided to leave the Twitter space, so I deleted it. So I can't have that back because that's how that works. But I changed the username on my other one that I have, the Crazer6 one. But then they, again, Twitter X, their appeal system's junk because they can't give you an actual answer. They just give you the generic one. It's like, we reserve the right. Okay, but what rule did I break? Because it doesn't help me as someone who doesn't understand. You broke the rules. Which ones?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you want somebody to go to re-education camp and learn from their bad behavior, you probably should tell them what that bad behavior is so that they don't do it again, right?
Yeah.
And it used to be that way. It's so funny because I remember before my big banning with my original account, which, I'm on Twitter again, but I will continue to keep making them and they can just keep kissing my ass for all I give a shit. 'Cause that's just me. But it used to bitch all the time about how bad Twitter was all the time, and how the free speech it sucked, and they banned people all the time, or they would. And I didn't get. I really, really, really was. People think I put stuff out there that's bad now. I really put some really bad, very questionable things out there, mostly about the tribe that my name it comes from. So anyway. And I never even got a 12-hour suspension for any of that. I think the first time I caught a suspension was the summer of 2022. And that was on an alt account that I had made just to kind of actually start pushing the boundaries of stuff and see what I could get away with. And that was going after, I didn't go after transgender people. I said something to the effect that people who were, who believed in chemical castration of their children under the age of 18 should have their kids taken away from them and put in foster care. And that got me a 12-hour ban. But that was literally the only time I gotten in trouble for anything. But they told you, and you had a chance to, delete the tweet or, whatever, or peel it. But they at least told you, and they showed you the tweet. They showed you the offending thing and told you. And they actually were doing that up until this past spring. Because I had, another, my fourth Twitter account at the time within a year. Hey, I don't know why I'm not doing anything wrong. Anyway, it's like I said, I misspell things a lot. I misspell things a lot, especially, like Negro or Niger. I misspell it a lot. Anyway, so
you also gas things up a bit. So
no, I used to really gas things up a lot. There's not as much fire and gas in my tweets as there used to be. But anyway, yeah, they still would tell you because I remember getting into it with Armed Liberal there for a bit. There was a whole bunch of us that were really into a big thing. Me, AP, Duck Cringe, Roots. There was a bunch of us, Hatman, a bunch of us were, I don't know if you were involved with that, Connor, or not, but you remember who Armed Liberal was. Yes.
I remember they were. I didn't get involved. You know me.
Yeah,
I kind of Twitter shit. I mean,
even me. We were all 40-year-old failed fathers who ended up owing me too. I was a failed father and owed his state like almost $1 million for back child support somehow. Whatever. Anyway, and then here's your red hat. He would always, MAGA, here's your red hat, MAGA person. But we all got into it, and he started flagging us for hate speech or just making up stuff. So it was like every time I turn around for a week, I was catching a 12-hour, and then I would appeal it, but they would tell you, give you the chance to delete the tweet or, appeal it. And I would appeal it, and those would get overturned because they were ridiculous things that he was doing. But the last couple of times they've done what they've done to me. They've not told me what it was, and then you go to appeal it and you're like, yeah, I would love to be able to tell you that what I did was wrong or not wrong, but I can't even defend myself because you won't tell me what I've done. And they're like, oh, well, we reserve the right, because you've broken the rules to be able to ban your account permanently. And we've already reviewed it. Now with me, I don't think they review mine because within minutes of me submitting an appeal, they've already told me I'm permanently banned every time. Yeah, I think I'm just on a radar somewhere.
And the thing of it is that when you're in the read only, they'll have that thing every once in a while will come down and says, and it said they manually reviewed it. Well, if they manually reviewed it, then why didn't they tell me what rule was broken if you're manually review it? But I guess they don't know what manual review is. So, but
Or
yeah,
it's
I mean,
that blue-haired lesbian that's sitting in there manually reviewing it, and you're wearing a red Daramouthe hat, and it looks like a MAGA hat. So they're like, "Yeah, no, sorry, racist."
yeah, I know a stop sign is red and has white letters too. Imagine that.
Yeah, well, it's not red on your head, white man.
Hey, that's all right. But no, it's sort of like, but I mean, people had warnings. Like Elon said, freedom of speech, but not of reach. And I was like, well, that's catchy, but that also goes to show that you don't believe in what you say. Then there was, I think it was his CEO who said lawful but not awful speech or whatever it was. And I was like, where are these coming up with these Dr. Seuss rhymes, first of all? And when did you guys decide to be the arbiters of something that you say you're wanting to go for speech, but then you're like, unless we decide so? So that's the thing I don't like about any platform that does it. Even with Rumble, it's like, don't say you're free speech when you could be limited. Say you're free your speech, but you're not free speech because you'll eventually be faced with something where you'll have to do whatever, and then people will come all over you, and so they'll just bite your head off. And so for me, I don't really care about politics. I think all political identities are BS anyway, because if your ancestors didn't need them to survive, then you really don't need them now to survive. So it's only because we try to stay civil and don't try to kill each other for each other's well. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I've got political sides on leanings on both. You know, I'm left leaning on some things. I'm more right leaning on more things. Especially nowadays, I guess, considering what used to be more left leaning is now more right leaning. You know, it's like they've moved the Overton window so far that I was never a member of a political party. I've never registered as one. I've always, well, yes, I have registered independent. So I've always voted either Republican or Democrat or third party, whichever one I thought was better. But I don't know. I mean, most of my life I would have been considered a classic liberal. And I don't think that my opinions have changed. I'm still just as big an asshole as I always was. But, you know, and look at both of you shaking your head.
He's saying no, though. So I saw him say no.
Oh, no, he didn't say no. Don't lie for him. I know better.
I actually didn't see, so I don't know. I just saw mine. No,
yours was like voracious in its yes.
Well, you get dark humor right off the bat, so you go really like you go to that jugular, as a juggler would say. But for me, it's sort of like, you know, voting was a thing where, because I was told, you know, by my dad to go vote, and he gave that serious look, and I'm like, let me ask a question. What not for voting, but there was something I keep saying on my the things I tell my fan account to say, not always, but sometimes. The thing of it is, like, if you can have people, whether they believe they're in power or not, and they can look at the rule book and say, let's just choose the ones we like and forget the rest. If they can look at the Constitution as nothing but parchment and ink, what's protecting you? What's guaranteeing your rights? Nothing. Nothing guarantees your rights when people in power can see it that way. So that's how I see it, and nothing's really changed on that so far, because people say your rights are guaranteed. How are they guaranteed if the people in power can say no and show no? You tell me that, and I'll get back to you on when that actually changes. So, my whole thing is, I don't care about politics one way or another, but my thing is, we have people who talk the big talk, and yet their walking is kind of like a disabled child, you know, limping on one leg. They say they can walk, but they really can't. They need assistance, which, you know, is understandable for children who have that kind of disability. But for actual adults who can walk, their disability just goes to a mental level I don't understand.
I don't know. We have a president that can't walk, and he also shits his pants. So who the hell knows anymore?
Well, that's because there are people behind him who are just as disabled. So there you go. It's like, what is that phrase? It's the phrase that says the the blind leading the blind. It's basically what humanity is. It's just the blind leading the blind with a few people who got smart about it. And that's basically it.
He's so weak. I mean, if I was behind him, I'd probably just push him down or put my foot out every once in a while and trip him and stuff, just because it'd be funny, I mean, why not?
Hey, culture. I like that. I like that little smooch you gave. That was pretty interesting.
What, his wife?
Hey, he just
Is
goes
your
up.
wife off camera? Hi,
Yeah.
Giselle.
Yeah. She.
It's your favorite Jew.
It's your favorite Jew.
I was like, he's just.
Like, I'm probably the only Jew in the world she actually likes. So there we go.
Oh wow, that's rough. Nice. But yeah, no, I
She's
don't
so
care.
beautiful, Connor. She's so pretty.
Yeah, she looks very nice.
Yeah,
But but yeah, for me, I don't care about politics. There's probably be after this presidential election, it'll probably be my last I ever vote because I see no point in continuing the failure that we keep bringing upon ourselves, and we're not really doing anything to change it. Like people will complain about taxes all day long. What have you done so far? Vote. Oh, so no change. Okay, got it. Good. Well, we'll have this EV thing where they're forcing electrical cars on us, and we
That's
want
done
that.
on purpose.
What?
That's done on purpose.
the electrical car.
Have you ever seen the movie? I like putting on a tinfoil hat.
Okay,
Have you ever watched the movie Minority Report? Tom Cruise.
that was ages ago. Yeah, I saw it.
What happens when he tries to escape? He gets in an electrical car and they shut it off on him.
Oh, yes.
That's what that whole plan is. They're just gonna shut it off whenever they fucking feel like
Yeah.
it. You're gonna have to pay like EA games to drive your fucking car.
Well, that's what was it? And I didn't even realize that Congress had actually it's supposed to be law by 2020, like go into effect 2026. Something with all of the cars are supposed to be equipped with an automatic shut off, so that if it detects that you may be impaired or driving while you're impaired, it'll just shut down and stop running. And what? So if I swerve to like not run over one of you, then I could be impaired. What if I'm just trying to be nice for once and trying not to hit one of you, and it says, oh, she's drunk or high or something, and it just shuts down all of a sudden. So I mean, they just had a big debate over that. First off, the technology is not there quite yet for it to be able to do that. But yeah, you got friends that don't make car payments and their smart cars are shut off and they can't start them. So we're not making a payment,
Well, and those things are made out of sort of this good for humanity sort of thing. Like it's we don't want drunk people driving and harming other people, which is a thing that we can all agree on because we don't want people just getting in their cars and running over elderly or whatever. But the thing of it is good intentions can be used for bad will.
They always are.
Yeah. Well, let me say it again. Goodwill, no matter where it comes from. Now, I'm not talking about goodwill the company, but goodwill on any form can be used for bad intentions, and that can come from like Salvation Army. Like the Salvation Army's goodwill could be used for bad intentions. It just depends on that person.
It's a horrible, horrible charity organization. Most of them are. Now, all things that can be used for good are ultimately always used for bad, because most human beings deep down are evil, power hungry, maniacal, and they want control. That's just human nature, and it's always going to be that way. And it's just you're always going to find people that are, and a lot of people that I don't know if it's survival instinct in us that pushes us to be that way, or because even parents will do that to their own children.
Yeah. Well, I never go for the absolutes because life is always a varied result, but there are chunks of groups. No matter what, there are chunks of groups that go for that route, and they in part because they get stuck on this tag team thing, and that's what politics are. Politics is nothing more than tags for your tribe. It's basically what it is. It's everything. Everything is a tag for your tribe in here. That's the human brain right there. We haven't really progressed beyond that mental physical state that goes beyond that point. We're still kind of biased and whatever.
No, I hear what you're saying, and I agree with you as far as most of the time. I would agree in not speaking in absolutes, and believing that it's either always or never or 100% of the time. However, 100% of the time, people are going to take things that were created for good, and there are always going to be quite a few that will take it and use it for their own gain and their own glory and their own power. 100% of the time, you're going to have people that will do that. Not 100% of the people, obviously, but it's just the way that men are. And I don't mean men, I mean men, women,
everyone,
mankind, person kind.
See, and you hurt Culture's feelings when you said that. Come on now.
Yeah.
Bust his.
You can never hurt my feelings.
It's like Cartman. You just gotta stop busting his balls, man. You gotta stop busting them.
Nah, she's right. Humans are the most corruptible fucking things on this planet.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and I don't want to get too much of a downer on it because people can change it. It's just they don't. It seems like they don't fully want to, or they don't truly want to. They want to be in this place of status quo or normalcy, right? We always say normal, want to get back to normal, whatever. But what does normal mean? Well, and that was a thing. Like I had a discussion too about trying to figure out. I think it was on a stream with you, Jewey, or whatever. No, it was Toasty. But the question I asked, like, what does normal mean? Because normal was an open word. It can mean anything.
It's a blanket term.
It's a blanket term. It's like fair or equal, but none of those words mean anything. There's no fair in life. There's no equal in life. Those are all just made up words to make us feel better. And normal is pretty much in the same arena because people, after the coof stuff, because I don't know if you can say that in YouTube, unfortunately, after the coof stuff, people wanted to go back to being normal, but they just wanted to go back before it happened, which is just a status quo thing, right? People want to go to the baseline where it didn't upgrade their life, it didn't interrupt their daily activities or whatever, the boring routine, right? After all, some things in life can be a boring routine unless you do something about it. But people throw normal out there like it's a word that actually means something great when it doesn't. Nothing's normal.
That's why every time there's a different thing, like the past couple years, what was the one thing the news kept pushing every fucking week? They said that it was a question they kept asking time and time again. Is this the new normal? Then after a year, it changed to this is the new normal. Now it's the normal. It's a blanket term. It's an illusionary word. It doesn't mean anything. There's no such thing as normal. You're like, it's one of those things you literally will suck yourself down a rabbit hole. They have found a way to take words, the most simple words in life, and beat you in the back of the fucking head to the point where you start believing them. It's almost like, what is that fucking Stockholm syndrome with the government?
Yeah.
The new normal, the next normal, this is normal. It doesn't matter anymore. I mean, we all know, you can think back. That's why people get so sad when they think back on their childhood. How many times do you think back or you smell something from your childhood and you're like, Jesus fucking Christ, we had it so much better back then?
That's only because you see the things now, but that back then it could have been just as bad or less.
It wasn't before 9/11.
Right. Yeah, well, then
way better. It was so much better.
But there were still issues like the 70s had that gas crisis. The 70s had that gas crisis.
There's always going to be issues. That's just human. That's just humanity. That's just, part of being alive.
Right. Well, and the thing I want to point out before going further, if you want something to remind you of how it's not normal, how nothing's normal, just remind yourself you're a dust mite on a blue marble circling a golden sun in a nigh infinite universe, and you think you're special, right? I mean, there's some specialty, whatever, but the point of the matter is that your little things in life don't matter to the external cosmos that surrounds us that can almost kill us, right? What wiped out the dinosaurs, right? It only takes one of those to wipe us out, and you're complaining about how your government is the tax stuff for the government. You're not doing anything about it anyway. So why are you complaining about it?
That's because the people of this country, both the left and right, have been so pussified.
Everyone.
That they will roll over like a lazy fucking dog that we are. All of us.
Yeah,
every single one. The only
Americans.
way people ever stand up is if it came down to a life and death situation. Yeah. And I think that most people would roll the fuck over still.
I do too. I completely agree. I always laugh when I see all these things about civil war. You wouldn't survive. Come on. It's not. We are not the same type of people. We are not the same type of Americans that we were with the Civil War.
Right.
During the 1800s, it's a vastly different type of people than there are that are living right now. We become very comfortable, very complacent. People are willing to give up their freedom just for a little bit of internet, a little bit of drugs, a little bit of booze, a little bit of, leave me the fuck alone, and just keep me a little safe. And then you can kind of do whatever you want. Oh, I'm afraid of a virus. Oh, let me stay in my house for however long you tell me. I'll believe anything that you tell me. Just, keep paying my bills and don't evict me.
Yeah.
And, keep the dispensaries open and the liquor stores open.
Right. Has anyone ever heard of the movie The Road with Viggo Mortensen? I think his name is Morganson.
I've never seen.
Oh yeah, there's a movie The Road. It's sort of a post-apocalyptic, but I mean, we could go to maybe something similar to The Walking Dead, but without the zombies. People talk about a civil war, but don't realize how many Americans will die in that civil war. I'm not saying as it will be a pure absolute because things can change. But if it gets to a civil war, more families with kids will die because they're a liability at that point. Slow people and chunky people are going to die because they can't outrun the thing that's getting them.
Good fat ass people. They disgust me anyway. So,
hey now, we gotta roll them like Violet from Willy Wonka. We just gotta roll them.
Roll them in flour. I know what you guys say. I know.
Hey, no, not that crispy. But I think when people talk about a civil war, they don't understand what that's going to involve, and majority of people, probably not even me, would survive it. So I'm going to throw myself in. And I know I stated in everything earlier as an absolute, but there are some things that can be absolute, like you are going to die. That's an absolute. Sorry. And life's not fair. That's an absolute. Sorry. Nothing in life is equal, because it just isn't. That's an absolute. Sorry. That's just a thing you learn as you go on, but there are ways of using the human rank system to get around that. It's just you gotta learn. So, but now that we've picked apart wanting to strike a distance at the government, culture. I've only seen your show once, but why don't you talk a little about how you got started doing content creation and kind of go from there?
I don't know, man. I was just bored. I watch a bunch of different shows.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, I always, for the past couple of years, just kind of like rumbled around, like doing it. And I was like, I used to tell my brother, like, we'll do it one day. Yeah. And then one day, like, I don't know, I brought like new mics to record music, and then I ended up buying a soundboard, and then I brought all this shit, and I have this really nice gaming computer, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna learn like OBS and shit like that, and then I ended up just fucking doing it. Mm-hmm. It's fun, man. I do it just for fun. Yeah, it's something I do. It's like a thing to do every Saturday night. Have a couple drinks while I do it, and then afterwards, I tell everybody to go fuck off so I can go play like Bannerlord or fucking Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, no, that's the same for me. I was like, because you was watching shows, content creators. And it's like, just get a camera and a microphone and just go for it. And I was like, well, all right. And I kind of waffled on it. And I just finally one day got a webcam. Not this webcam, one that didn't have autofocus. And then I think I had a microphone that I bought a long time ago. And I was like, all right, let's do this. And that's where, like, majority of my videos, the first ones are just my avatar. And then it kind of then after a while, it's my hands. You just see my hands. And then with the live stream stuff, I've just recently started to show, my face a little bit, although I wear sunglasses. So, but I think it's cool anyway. So I was kind of in the same position too, but I kind of sort of do it for fun because for me, learning from a content creators, if you do it just for money, you're gonna have a miserable time. It just right off the bat. If you do it just for money or to get rich or to get famous, you're gonna be miserable.
If you do it for money or for clout or any of that, you're not gonna come off genuine, and you're gonna come off like a fucking stagnant robot. Mm-hmm. Stagnant robot. Let me rephrase that. Sorry.
Staggering robot or something like that. Yeah.
Stagnant. Just still, you never progress, man. It's all there. Really could be around a lot of these different like especially with certain shows that I watch. Like if you know people in those communities, it could be a really good thing. And if you're one of those people who's willing to help out on like like Grandma's Boy Podcast is a podcast I watch that is not part of any community around here. We talk on the phone and shit like that. Like, we've become good friends. And then one day I was listening to a show and I was like, dude, your fucking microphone blows. What is your address? And I bought him a microphone and brand new headset to so he can hear himself. And I was like, dude, just use this. Same thing with Toasty. Toasty wanted these headphones. And I was up one night. I couldn't sleep. And I was just like, hey, man, I sent them to you. Yeah. Just help people out. Especially because, I don't know, man. You can build a great community on these things. It's fun, and we go into Discord and shit like that, and we have fucking VCs and shit like that, and it's just a good time. Off air is probably the best time, though. When we're on the VCs and everybody's fucking around, that is the funniest shit.
If I was just to switch it over to Rumble only, I would let you go free. I don't care. But it's because of the attachment with YouTube that kind of.
No, I wouldn't do that anyway. I'm pretty good, especially on other people's show. I'm a guest in your house. Plus, on my own show, I don't really.
No, he's really good on his own show too. That's why I'm always amazed people even ever want me on theirs. But I'm good on people's shows too.
No,
I know stuff I can say things on, and who you can't. I would never want to blow anybody's stuff up ever.
No. My thing is because of how YouTube has screwed people over just by saying one word and they completely shut you down. I don't want to get involved with that. But on Rumble, just say whatever the hell you want. I don't care. I don't say those words, but you can say them however you want.
It's all right. I say them enough.
Only on Rumble, but because I know you can do that. On Twitter, not exactly, because I don't trust them very much anymore.
I think probably more what Connor was getting at was the fact that off air, it's just different. Like when we're in a VC and we're not streaming and people are just being themselves and talking and having mindless conversations, like you would sit around at a friend's house, around a bonfire or something. You really can get to know people, and it's a damn lot of fun. I used to be one of those people who did not think that you could make actual friends or connections with people on the internet. I thought that was the most ludicrous, retarded. Sorry, I probably said words. One of the most ludicrous, ridiculous things I'd ever heard. And that was just the dumbest stuff. Until I started interacting with certain people, and Connor was probably one of the first ones that I was like, oh, this guy's kind of growing on me, and I kind of like him a little bit. He's really nice, and we just started kind of talking, and he was just always, would check on me when, from time to time, send me a DM, how's things going? See, you're going through this, how you holding up, and and that was well before I was ever in Discord doing any VCs. I belonged to Discord, but it was a late friend of ours, David Krakow, who passed away. I was in his VC, or I was in his Discord, and only so I could make sure I kept up with him because he kept getting banned all the time. I didn't do anything. I never posted. I didn't say anything. I might have gone to a VC once or twice, but I just didn't see the purpose. And then it was probably about a year ago that I started getting invited to some other people's stuff, like the Starving Artist and Roots, who I'd become friends with, and getting to know. And there was a group of us that became like I have become extraordinarily close to these people from VCs in particular, where you can just sitting around every night last winter for hours. We would sit around and drink or whatever, and talk and play music, and just became a very good core group of friends, and like friends that have actually stepped up in real life, in the real world, and helped each other when they really, really needed help. It's a unique place to form friendships, and especially when they become like outside of just the internet. Where we talk like text, so we aren't just on VCs or Twitter or all of that. So I'm a bit of a stalker, and that happens. And I'm kidding. Now he's a cool dude, and it's a great place to be able to really mingle and and meet people, and really get to know people on a whole different level that you wouldn't have been afforded to get to know because of distance or never being able to meet somebody before. So I don't know.
And that's the thing for me is like I started out just talking about random stuff that I like to talk about it, whatever. I did movie reviews too, but I haven't done that much, and it was just gaming. But I really like this sort of setup. Maybe not. I don't like doing a whole ton of people, but this is fine. But I like the setup of having just a conversation with someone. Yeah, you can do it off screen, but I like being able to do this to show to the world of that person. And that's what I'm trying to, will hope for next year as a gain for is the more and more people to have those conversations. Well, eventually, people I follow, but we'll just stick with. I'll stick with anyone, but more towards people I follow. Um, but because I'd rather have a conversation about almost anything than, well, let's talk about current day stuff or whatever. Because I could give a care less about current day stuff. Nothing changes the current day stuff very much anymore. So I can talk about, like I said, I could talk about from today to yesteryear because there's a whole lot of stuff to dig around with the shelf. I'm like, oh, there's this thing, and then go to another hole, and oh, there's this thing, and you'd be surprised of how many things you talk about, like oh, the 1929 crash of the stock market, or and the depression that followed, or the plane, the first airplane, or whatever. It's just a mountain of stuff you could talk about, even if it's just ridiculous, like like mindless. But um, I think there are a lot of people who may have similar or whatever, and these kind of shows give other people a place. And the thing is, I don't like the community thing because I've seen too many content creators. Some are successful in building a community and some aren't very well. And that's for me, it's like with Discord, right? My Discord's an invite only because I've seen too many people talk about how it becomes they have to mods, they have all this stuff happening, these bad actors come in and like, well, then just restrict it to the point you can invite only.
That's what I do. Mine's invite only.
Yeah.
And I'm the only one that can invite.
But
well,
me,
actually, there's 2 other people that can send out invites. I don't even know if they know that, but
don't tell them. Don't tell them. You have the power now. Just don't tell them.
Yeah, no.
But for me, the only reason I did the Discord is because after the Twitter thing, I didn't have the people I used to chat to through messages. Didn't have that connection. So luckily, I was able to get some back. But I'll make that the place where if something happens to me, I can go and say this happened, and communicate there because Twitter X is not something to trust. And even the quartering, if you know who the quartering is, talked about that, but he goes back on that wording too. So I don't know what to tell you. Never trust outright what someone says until they show you, because their actions are always the proving ground for what they really mean. Even for me, right? Like my actions can be totally different from what I say, but that's where it's at. Nobody, you can talk the talk, but walking the walk is like sliding down a slide and then just jumping off the rail and hitting a tree, So, but that's just me. You can take it or leave it. But from my perspective of what I've seen, never trust someone outright on what they say they're going to do or what they're going to follow, or whatever, because principles are flimsy. People's principles can be very flimsy and like a what is it? Like a balloon, they can pop. What? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
It will kind of fucking fold over.
Yeah, like a house of cards. It just takes one in there. So, but hey, people and money talk more than people and their words. So, but that's just me.
Fair point.
Yeah. So, and it's not like I'm like I can't trust anyone. No, you build those relationships, and if it turns out they aren't that kind of person, then you didn't let them come that far. But if you have and it works out well, then you've gained something out of it, and that's a really great thing. But I just dislike when people say community when realizing that it doesn't always work out, and you have more problems than you would have, and all this other stuff. So it becomes a mess if you don't fully understand the complication of what human beings are. So, but that's just my point of view of seeing perspective-wise, and that's why I like having these conversations, because this allows me to talk to someone else who has a different mind than me, whatever, and I get their perspective. I get to hear their perspective, and that's really what I like to do, because some people do it for whatever, but I like to have those conversations where I know something maybe different from the other person over there, or we may come on something that we agreed to. It varies, and it can be very fun. So, but yeah. So you just started it on a whim, and then you've probably been doing for how long now, Culture?
About a year, a little over a year actually.
Nice. I've been doing it since June or July, because that's when I got the camera and stuff, uh, and it just kind of been a slow thing there. But I really like making this kind of content rather than like gaming. I mean, gaming's fun if you want to, but people seems like people only watch you more if you're more well known. But the whole point should be, I'm I'm going for a crowd in order to get more people to talk to. It's sort of like casting your net and then pulling it in and then casting it again and just keep going back out and all that stuff. So
It really takes a long time to build any type of an audience or following at all. You know,
Yeah.
because even with people that we know, especially Connor, he's like people that are streamers that have very big audiences that he personally knows and grew up with, and things like that. Even having in a community and kind of having your name out there with certain people, you still aren't guaranteed that you're going to get any traction for a while at all, and so you get, definitely don't I would say don't measure yourself or your success or any of that on what you see other people doing, or oftentimes you don't know how long that might have taken those people to even get 5 followers or 5 people that'll watch live.
Yeah.
You may go show after show after show for months and months and months and months and just have one, maybe 2. So
Yeah, that makes a little difference. Is what the perseverance, persistence, and what you're willing to put in it. Because I always feel like asking that question. Like, for when you're doing content creation stuff, what do you want to get out of it, and what are you willing to put into it? Because it's a give and take process, right? Like, people come and go, and like you see with what happened with me and my suspension on Twitter X, it can easily be taken away. So building something can go, or with YouTube or whatever. So you kind of have to spread yourself out a bit. But yeah, you're not wrong. It does take time. It's just, again, what do you want to get out of this, and what are you willing to put into it? And I'm not really doing too much. I've may have bought some expensive equipment, but not like thousands of dollars, which these other people do. But for me, I'm like, I'm not spending that much. I'm not spending that much at all. Because it's just dumb. But I'm not big money maker. I think the only amount of money I've ever made is off the ad stuff, and I think I'm close to 40 cents by now on Rumble.
nice.
30. I checked it last, either 36 or 37 cents. And I was like, all right, I'm making more money than I am on YouTube. Let's go. Let's go. Because that's a funny thing too, is like it all depends on views. Don't get me wrong, for both places or all the places. But the thing of it is, I can be instantly monetized now on Rumble. About YouTube, I have to wait. I have to wait like 1,000 people, 4,000 hours. I can skip that line, and all that stuff. So it's kind of nice to see the differences, but to each their own. I only speak on what I use, and I'm not going to use like 5 different sites to stream. I'm not that. I'm not like that. I've seen some people do it, and I'm not going to do that. So
what is the monetization on YouTube? Is it 1,000 subscribers?
4,000 watch hours. I'm over the 1,000 subs, but the 4,000 watch hours, I do the show once a week, maybe twice.
Yeah.
You've got to have a lot of people to watch it. Unfortunately,
if I wanted to, I could probably do the show every day.
Right, but is it worth it?
Doing gaming streams, but I do it for fun, man.
Yeah.
Maybe if I find a game I think is fun.
Yeah.
That's something else. Like, what am I going to do? Stream Baldur's Gate 3? I love Baldur's Gate 3. Do you know how much fucking dialogue is in the fucking game?
I played The Witcher. I kind of got the idea.
I was going to do a whole Yakuza series playthrough, but I have to figure out, like, I could do it for my PlayStation, but I don't know how fucking far that goes with tags. I could do it for my computer, but every time I go to load it into StreamYards or OBS, the dialogue does not come through at all.
I mean, if y'all wore bikinis and stuff and sat in hot tubs and played games, especially if you're on Twitch, you make some money.
You don't even have to wear bikinis anymore. You can look like you're not wearing anything at all.
Oh, see, you make even more money.
Just ask Twitch.
I'm wearing nothing at all.
That's right. That's right. We're just gonna go over here and cook a little turkey.
Flanders.
Do some naked gaming. Oh yeah. See, then y'all could get monetized right away. Donations
Nobody
roll.
wants to see me naked. Are you fucking kidding me?
You'll look,
dude. I'm whiter than fucking computer paper. It would literally, if I took my shirt off on camera, it would look like the scene at fucking Indiana Jones in the fucking not Last Crusade, fucking Raiders of the Lost Ark. Everybody, like, the ark would open, there'd be flying Jewish spirits, and then everybody's face would go off. And people would be like, damn, I can't believe this guy got away with murdering a bunch of people just by showing his white flesh.
I was no joke. I was talking to Toasty like off the show. It was not even after the show. It was the last week ago Saturday during the day. So we did a private VC, just she and I. And her boyfriend got on there and he said, tell her about the smoking stream. And she was like, oh yeah, my boyfriend and I were talking, because Toasty does the OnlyFans stuff. And she said, you should do a smoking stream. I said, what are you talking about? She said, yeah, and her boyfriend says, no, listen, because people, like, there are dudes, there's a whole market for it. Like, they will just pay to watch women sit and smoke. And you look so elegant when you're sitting there with like your backdrop, when you got your fireplace and all that stuff, like when I've got the green screen things on. Mm-hmm. And he said, you just sit there and smoke. And he said, and that's all you'd have to do. He said, especially like you wear your turtlenecks or whatever, you don't have to, you just smoke. Like, men just want to pay to watch people smoke. And then I said, well, then Toasty, why don't you do that? She said, well, I'll use the word Negro, but apparently she smokes like some type of ghetto Negro. Yes. Yeah. And it's not attractive, is what he was saying. So, yeah. And I was like, that's really bizarre. So you don't even have to get naked anymore. Like, people just smoke, and why would people throw money at you for just smoking? That's dumb. So maybe you guys should do a smoking stream. I mean, Dan Snot did say I could call it the Smoking Jew stream, but
you should just call it Jewey's Gas House.
Gaslanders.
First off, I came up with that nickname on a whim, and then it stuck on you. You took it, and you were like, "Yeah, I'm doing that." And I was like,
"I love it! It's so hilarious."
You could have.
I only do that because I went to school with a girl who was half black, half Jewish, and I used to call her Ashlander.
Okay, love it.
Laughing so hard, she was like, "That's the greatest racial comment I've ever gotten." And I was like, "I'm Irish."
I love the Gaslander. That's definitely original. I was called, and Kohler called me. What was it? A Holocaust Hot Pocket. He was calling me his Holocaust Hot Pocket there for a while, which I thought was up until Gaslander the best nickname that I had ever had by somebody. I thought that was very.
Is the Hot Pocket kosher?
When you say that, it sounds like a woman's area that just got destroyed. Ugh.
Yeah, the Holocaust Hot Pocket just sounds like a really cool, like, fleshlight.
Okay, all right. Holocaust Hot Pocket. I see that.
In the reviews, it bombed. Then you'd have like someone in the background who like, I think this lady over here needs a rechanging. Can someone go get her, please? Yeah.
Oh, don't start speaking German to me now.
Oh,
don't do that.
But you like it very strong. Yes, we'll take you back and take you the.
Welcoming. Are you looking for the flashlight that is totally in styles? Then you need Holocaust Hot Pocket, made of all the fine skin of all the piles of bodies. What will leave you gassed, baby?
Oh, it reminds me of that joke that Robert Williams used to tell. It's like he went to this German show and they asked him something about comedians, and he would respond like, "Don't you think you've already killed all the comedians?" And they just stone face him like, "No." And it was like, so I was like, what? Well, if they're all gone, then why are you guys not laughing about it? But, when you keep getting reminded about your bad history, it's going to be a very PTSD country. So
hey, look, Stone Mexican guy's taken to calling me his Hebrew heathen lately. So that's how I told him he could do better. So.
Yeah, that's true. He could try to do a Hispanic Mexican German accent and see how that goes. He's
just a vile little horny dude. So who swears he's gonna make me his Hebrew wife. So he's constantly coming after me all the time. I think it's mostly in jest and in jokes. But yeah, see, I keep trying to do stuff to get him to like block me on Twitter, and he always says, I know what you're doing. I'm not going to block you. I'm not going to do it. So, yeah, I tried. His latest thing was the Sam Hyde. I guess Sam Hyde's reality show that he's got. And he said one more person post something about Sam Hyde and that stupid fucking reality show. He said, I swear I'm going to block him. And I said, oh. So I did a whole clip of it, and I put it. He said, "Yeah, I know what you're doing. I'm not blocking you."
Tell him he has to cross that Red Sea first and see if we get past it. All right. So.
Oh no! If I say something about a Red Sea, he's going to come back with some kind of minstrel joke, and yeah, I'm not going to do that because he's, like I said, he's vile little Mexican dude.
Yeah, a minstrel joke. Yeah, that'd be a weird thing.
Not that kind of minstrel.
A minstrel genital show.
Yes.
Here's my little penis. Yes.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. We're not doing that kind of thing.
Put a top hat on your dick and with like a wire.
What's that Broadway show that I've heard it once? It's like something like Hitler in Spring or something like that. The Broadway show, whatever.
Hitler on Ice.
The producers.
Oh, the producers. That's right. I was trying to figure like what it was called, but I found that interesting because I remember seeing a snippet, and this was with the Nathan Lane and Matthew Broderick one, right? And it's like I think Nathan Lane was playing, Hitler up on the stage. It's like does like a gayish or form of it, and he just says like something about Hitler in Spring or whatever. But I just found that funny because the point of the matter is you're just making fun of the person, which you should be allowed to make fun of anybody because one majority of people are already dead anyway. Like when it's like coming to like MLK, right? Like MLK Jr. Like why, man? Yeah, he did something great, but why not make fun of him? He's dead. No, if his ideas are great, then they'll live past the man.
That's absolutely, and he was well known by the CIA for being gay as well. So there's that.
It's like that's fun of. Yeah, it's like that thing from V from Vendetta, right? It's like you want ideas to live past the man because if they don't, then they're not really worth following at all, right? If the ideas don't live past the person, then you might as well just leave them because, how can you have something that survives? I mean, humanity itself, like nothing's. The only thing that survived Egyptian whatever is the buildings themselves. Not much from them personally has survived tradition-wise or whatever. It's not like you see Egyptians now burying their dead like mummies, which would be weird, but
that would be badass.
Bring it back.
Yeah, I think
it's time to bring.
Claim that. No, we used to throw ourselves in the bogs.
Yeah.
That's right. You sure did the bog mummies, right?
Well, they weren't meant to be mummies. They would just murder a dude and be like, throw him in the peat moss. And then like 200 years later, some dude would be like taking a piss in the peat moss, be like, "Oh, I'm pissing on a dead." Yeah, it's a dead dude. Fuck, god damn it.
Yeah, but that's pretty cool. It is pretty cool how that has how it's preserved the bodies of the people.
There was something I read of like the peat moss or whatever, and it was like I think it was they mentioned something like the Rip Van Winkle thing. Like I don't know how it combined, but they were just talking about how peat moss preserves whatever, and Rip Van Winkle came up, and I can't even remember the story of Rip Van Winkle or the rhyme, but that was part of that discussion.
Oh, that's not the guy that was screaming, "The British are coming! The British are coming!" Right?
That's Paul Revered, but he wasn't revered after he got off that horse.
Was he masturbating when he was doing that? The British are coming, or was it just?
I think he more or less was just like it was a masochism thing, right? Like they're coming.
If he was masturbating while riding that horse would be galloping so fast as he's about to come. He'd be like, the British are coming. Oh fuck! Dumb faces. That would be his painting, is him doing this.
It'd be like, did he have that kite with the key on it? He's getting struck by lightning. I don't think that's what that is. Beer?
I don't know.
Uh-oh.
No, it's okay. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. I was like, she's disappeared. Magic, finally. Yeah. It's that judge.
Paul Revere just said the British are coming. Yeah, it's on my fucking face. That fucking asshole.
He said 1 by land, 2 by sea. What did he mean by that?
One by knuckle, two by fist.
You might have been
Paul-
talking about semen, you know.
What if it was Paul Queer?
Hey,
The British are
everyone.
coming. Everybody, get the
Yes.
fuck inside. Get inside.
Everyone, let's play along. Flowers, everyone. Flowers. They're not going to shoot us. Yay. Stuff like
The
that.
British are coming, and I caused it. Look, big Angelina Jolie lips, and the George Washington's like, he's. I don't get it. I don't know anymore. At least he warned us, but he blew them, so he slowed down the army.
Well, and that's the thing, right? It's like the whole history is like, well, Paul Revere, that was a small part. It's actually the other thing that was important. Like,
Probably would have helped us win the war. You know what I mean?
You know
If
what,
he had-
Paul Revere just holding a dude by his hip.
Yes, exactly. The British are coming. I'm helping. The British are coming.
see, the only way you win a war is by taking away the ethics. Like, what was it? Like in the Geneva Code, you can't use white phosphorus. Just take out the ethics, and there you go. And the thing is, do you think the other side always obeys the rules for war? I mean, no. Those don't play by the rules.
Yeah, well, after 9/11, we had to add no planes to the fucking Geneva Conventions.
Did we really?
Taliban was like, God damn it. We'll use
And it was a German who did it too. It's like, look, they had the guy with the turbines fly into the planes, and we can't have that no more. He has to go. He has to go.
My favorite thing about the whole Geneva Conventions or any of those things, because they used to have like they used to have a world before the actual World Court. They had a pre-dating one, almost like the League of Nations type of shit.
Yeah.
And the Americans were famous for using pump action shotguns during World War I. We're the only country who was dumb enough to be like, I got like 5 shells in this thing. We're good. And they used to run in the trenches. And the Germans went to the court and they were like, that is an inhumane weapon. And it's like, yeah, but you're literally using mustard gas, which kills people in about a minute. So fuck you.
I would like the Geneva Convention to put down this ruling. If you want to go to war, your leading leaders have to get in a boxing ring and fight.
Well, see, that would be ideal, wouldn't it? You know, that would always be the way it should be. Is that the leaders actually?
No, I got a better one. I have a better one. If you want to go to war, the 2 opposing leaders have to get into a boxing ring and jerk off in front of each other.
See, that's not really win.
Comes first. Whoever can complete in front of the other dude wins automatically.
Yeah.
Huh.
See,
we've got some real degenerate leaders too. Our leaders would probably be like
Justin Trudeau would conquer the world. He'd be like, "I'm a drama teacher. You don't think I'm not?"
Oh God, you're right. He sure would.
I like it. I find it funny too. Is like you have Canadians complaining about their guy up there, but it's like, wait, you voted for him though. It's like, no, and he was a pretty guy too. So a lot of the women supposedly voted for Justin Trudeau. So it's like, wait a second. So you let women take over and they voted him in, and now you're complaining about it. I think you need to focus on your own country first before you start going after other people. But we're Canadians, eh? We're kind of nice, huh? That's the problem.
My favorite thing about the United States Constitution is that in it, it's either, I think it's the Constitution. I have to look up the code of it. But if Canada wants to be annexed, there is to be no vote. It's automatically to happen.
Nice. All right, Canada, you get annexed, but you have to get rid of Trudeau first. So either you crucifixion.
They might this year because they're looking at a dude named like Pierre Poilievre, and he's just been wailing on Trudeau and they're whatever that stupid fucking thing they have is where they all yell at each other in a room like a bunch of yentas.
The Parliament.
Parliament, yeah.
Parliament. It's such a fucking. I gotta watch myself.
The English, it's the English version of being nice, but the English aren't nice. They're almost.
The English are brutal. They're even worse than the Canadians. Now, if you're gonna do Parliament, that's the Parliament to watch. Well, I love watching them yell at each other.
All lights.
Yeah.
Who's the country that's always throwing like shoes at each other and getting into fist fights? And it's one of those brown countries. Turkey? Yeah, okay. Now that's a nice parliament to watch.
One of those brown countries. Jesus Christ.
I didn't say the N-word. I said brown people, like brown.
I was thinking India because they have is sandals, so it just
brown
sandals
people.
No, they would just shit all over.
Yeah, those are street shitters. That's
true. They'd crap all over their neighbors. They actually do what they do in San Francisco. They just do it in front of their neighbors and be like, "Oh, Hey, how you doing?
Fuck you,
Hope you've been
buddy.
eating.
Listen, y'all will think I'm lying, but literally the only place at the very beginning, the first month of the pandemic, where my daughter and I could find toilet paper, my oldest daughter and I, because we like thought it was a joke. We did not take this seriously. When people are talking like the news and all this shit's talking about toilet papers flying off the shelves and you can't find any anywhere, we're like, well, that's fucking stupid. What they wanted, people like wiping their ass more than they ever have in the history of mankind. Of course, there's toilet paper, because we're in a first world country, so you never have shelves that don't have anything stocked. So we completely took that shit for granted and didn't believe in it. And then all of a sudden we were down to one roll of toilet paper and hadn't been able to find any for like 2 weeks. The only place that we could find toilet paper was the Indian Haji store, the gas station at the corner, about a half a mile away. They had lots of toilet paper. Wonder why.
They look, you grab the toilet paper and they're like, ew, you uncultured swine.
Yeah, right?
We are real. We use our hands.
I'll be right back. You guys entertain. I'll be right back.
Oh, we can entertain. We
Time to talk about our favorite N-word. No,
yeah, we got to be good now.
Hey, what was that? I heard that, young man. Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
Boy, he popped right back on screen, didn't he? He's quick.
yeah, that was.
Yeah,
Don't
I know.
be that quick.
You were like a parent
see it
turning
that quick.
around in a car. Jesus Christ.
I think
Like,
he
I wanna
knows me
drink it
well
up
enough
there.
to be a little bit nervous about leaving me on screen by myself. So at least you're here to keep me in line.
Now I'm going to sign off. Fuck this. I'm going to make it. It's my whole goal in life. Yeah. I want to drink another energy drink, but I've had 4. I probably
Oh
should.
no, dude, is your like heart doing this?
Nah, I used to donate blood, and I would drink like 1 or 2 an hour before I went in, and my blood pressure was like the fucking lowest you can get it. And they're like, I would tell them, like, yeah, I just had 2 ghosts, and the lady's like, what the fuck is your problem, man?
Yeah, I can't do cocaine or meth before I go in and like give plasma or give like donate blood because the heart rate's a little bit too high. So no joke, it's not lie.
I've ever had somebody go, hey, I can't do meth while I got COVID. Who the fucking thought that would ever come up in conversation? By the way, bartender at the bar I go to, my favorite beer is Juice Force from Voodoo Ranger. And
yes. It's the only beer that I like.
Well, what was it, like a fucking 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago in there? And before I got there, there was a Voodoo Ranger rep. And he like left, and the bartender was like, hey, I got you something.
Wow.
Oh, koozie. Very nice, dude.
And I was like,
Very
dude, how much do you want for this? And he's like, nope, got it for you. He's like, you're the only one who drinks Juice Force like that. So
very nice.
That's awesome.
I went to that bar one time and I drank 5 of them in an hour.
Is that the place where you go usually before you live stream and have the really greasy burger that's about this thick, fries and shit? Yeah.
Dude, I went there one day and I drank 5 of them in an hour. They're 9.7% or 9.8. So right when I was ordering the 5th one, the lady who was behind the bar goes up to the dude who bartends. I won't say his name. I'm not gonna dox him or anything, but she was like, I heard her. She was like, should I cut him? He's had like 4 of them. He wants a 5th one. Should I cut him off? And he turns around, he looks at me, and goes, oh, him? No, he's gonna walk out of here straight. Are you fucking out of your mind? Give him another one. Finished that one, paid my tab, gave her a $20 tip. I got up and I was like, see you. Went home, did a show.
Yeah, then, I always know you're gonna stream when I see that burger.
I got it yesterday.
And with those fries and the burgers like this, and it's just like the grease is just rolling out of it. It looks so good.
Dude, you don't understand at this point. I mean, shit, you don't understand. I am shitting canola oil at this fucking point. Out of me. My heart has a layer of fat around it. I'm gonna die young, and I'm just like, cool.
It's so good that you're right. It's so good you and your wife are like soulmates, and they've known each other since they were like 2-3 years old. She really loves you if you're shitting canola.
I was just wondering if you're sputtering it, like it's just.
Dude, it's different, man. It doesn't matter. Sometimes you get those fucking logs that are lubed up, and it just flies out of your ass to the point where you question if it ever really happened. It's like a mirage. You're like, did I really shit? got to spread your legs and lift your genitals and stare into the toilet like this. Like,
you know what that reminds me of? Have you watched South Park, right? You've seen some of South Park, right?
yeah.
Did you ever see the episode where they ate through their butts?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is how you eat a turkey.
Yeah. Well, and the thing too is they have two separate ones. They have the one that's censored because it was on like public television or whatever, and then they have the actual one where they just crap out of the mouth and like, wow, this is something.
I remember that episode. I had forgotten all about that one until you just said something about it. Boy, they come out. I'll tell you what, they're like prophets. They really are.
Well, the same thing said about the Simpsons as well. Like that.
I think, yeah, that's true because they have come up with some really bizarre shit, right? Like
but
on the escalator and all that stuff.
But if you think about it, the more random stuff you do, the more chance you have of it actually might become true. It just depends, right? Like it's just, huh?
Yeah, it's called shooting your shot. They just cast a wide net and make a bunch of predictions. Plus, I also think that old Matt Groening is given some information ahead of time, especially because he used to be on those Jeffrey Epstein flight lists and shit. So, I mean, the craziest one I ever heard about any of that shit was, do you know who Chris Carter is?
No.
Chris Carter wrote the X-Files.
Okay.
I didn't know that was
he wrote a show. He wrote 2 other shows afterwards or during. One of them was called Millennium. That lasted a season. The other one was called The Lone Gunman, based off the 3 characters that he meets the lone gunman in the show, and they help him. The first episode of that show aired May 15th, I think, 2001, and it depicted a plane flying into the World Trade Centers. And after that they were interviewing him, like how'd you know that was going to happen? And he literally in an interview was like, some dude that I knew from the CIA told me to write an episode like that, like it would be a huge hit, and I did.
Yeah. Same thing with the Alex. Yeah. Same thing with the Alex Jones, where they show that video of whatever's like July, but how that goes. But there was I completely forgot. But yeah, South Park is just a hilarity and stuff. Like there's on YouTube a while ago they did this whole concert thing, and I go and listen to their songs sometimes. Like there's the one about gay fish, which I thought was hilarious. It involves Kanye West making what was it, fish sticks, but it's actually about fish sticks. So it's that wordplay there. And then the other one is I always love the character of Mr. Mackey because he has that voice, okay, like a Mr. What's
now,
that?
kids, you need to understand something, okay?
Who's that one guy that's with Oprah a lot? Dr. Phil, right? He sounds like Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always laugh because the cop in that show, his accent's based off a Long Island accent. Officer Bob Brady.
Oh, and then Mr. Hanky, howdy ho.
When I was little, my mom used to make me just do like an outlandish Mr. Garrison.
Oh,
because I would just sit there and I'd be like, oh, that's okay there, right, Mr. Hay?
Oh, do you remember the episode where the new teacher comes in because Mr. Garrison has been missing, and she
Mr. Slade.
No, not that one. It's the lady one, the older lady.
Oh, Miss Chokes on Dick.
Yeah.
She's my favorite. She's my favorite. I always say that my tits look more and more like hers every year that I get older.
Yeah. And she.
Never mind.
Yeah.
I mean, look.
Oh goodness! Now you're gonna get me canceled for sure. No, well,
goodbye, everybody on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, the thing of it is then as the episode progresses, she goes up and does sort of like this Star Wars thing with like Darth Vader or whatever. And her thing is she's trying to get this communication between Eric because Eric just keeps demolishing her all the time.
Yeah, well, Mr. Mackey demolishes her in an episode or 2 as well.
Yeah. But the thing is his comeback is Eric is like, present them. And she goes something about his balls, but he says something about his balls, and then she's like, present them. And Cartman's just like, whoa. She got a comeback on me. But yeah, I like that kind of. I don't watch like it religiously, but I don't watch TV religiously. It's more like I was at a campground this year because I had a nephew who was having a birthday, and we stayed at a campground, at their house.
Was it a little youth campground?
I've
No,
heard
it's
of camps myself.
it's a KOA. If you know what KOA is, if you heard of KOA, is that
Yeah.
Oh.
Campgrounds in America, they're fucking actually pretty cool.
Yeah, there was a cabin they have. It was like a special box, whatever. Anyway, they had a TV in there, right? So you could watch cable TV. First time I'd watched cable TV or any TV in a long time. Commercial, after commercial, after commercial, after commercial. At this point, I was counting whether it's medical, financial, or whatever. And I was like, gosh, I don't miss this. I have Brave browser. I use that with YouTube. No ads. No ads. I can't go back to watching anything with ads anymore because it's just like
Yeah. It all sucks. And TV's just crap anymore anyway.
yeah.
The only good things, like I actually did watch some. It's probably some of the first TV that I've watched since last Christmas time and last holiday. Like I watch 24 Hours. I keep it on. I don't watch 24 hours of it, but I do the Christmas Story every year because that's my favorite Christmas movie, and that's just been like a 20-year tradition at this point in time for me. So I at least watch it once, and I keep it on for that whole day. And then I was watching yesterday. It was National Lampoon's Vacation. They did a marathon, so they had all three of those movies that were on. They had the vacation one, and then they had the European Vacation, and they had the Las Vegas Vacation. And I just love the National Lampoon one, so I watched those while I did other things. But yeah, TV is just not something that I watch. Even with streams, I don't watch what I like. I used to keep a lot of stuff on in the background. And I had certain streams that I watched all the time. That's kind of how Connor and I actually originally first bumped into each other, was some streamers that we both know. We ended up, like 2018, 2017, somewhere around there, 2018, 2019, in the same chats with the streamers. And I used to watch both of those shows like religiously every day. And then there was other ones that I would try to watch. Anytime I had a friend or somebody that was doing something, try to support them, but it gets to be too much. It's just at some point in time, you got a life, you got stuff you got to do, and it's just I like to read, so I read a lot. I think Connor's is really the only one that when I watch it, when I get a chance to watch it, if I'm not like on Toasty stream, or doing somebody else's stream, I am in his chat and watching it from the minute I'm in there until he's over. It's like one of the only ones I will watch from start to finish.
Before we go any further, kind of culture. You said CVR, whatever. You said you were doing streaming tonight as well. Is there a time you're
10 o'clock?
10 o'clock. Okay, so we have some time. So we'll.
I gotta hop off around 9:30 because I have to start setting up and coordinating with my co-host.
Yeah. We'll end at 9:30. So while we're here, why don't you go ahead and kind of promote yourself? Not show yourself because that's a negative word. Just go ahead and promote yourself a bit, and then we'll kind of just spend out the last few minutes just talking about nonsense. So go ahead.
So if you want to go on YouTube, search up Culture Vulture Radio, you'll see this eagle, or you'll see a vulture wearing a Burger King crown with a red bandana. On Rumble, it is Culture Vulture Podcast. That's what that one comes up with. And the same thing, you'll see like a vulture grasping the world.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. We literally just do a show making fun of the news because it's so funny. It's gotten to the point where it's so tragically sad that it is a tragic comedy. It is the funniest shit I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like the fucking Sam Bankman-Fried today.
I saw that.
Second trial.
Yep. Saw that.
And if I did that, I'd be going to jail for life.
Yep.
But
that's power. That's power.
By the way, hilarious that a dude with a Semitic last name has bank in it. So,
yeah.
I saw that. Yeah. Oh yeah, I always do this, Jewey.
I know. I just happen to have such a nice small one. Such a small one for my glasses.
Is this skin kosher?
I actually am drinking Manischewitz, by the way. So yes, kosher wine.
Ooh, Hanukkah's over, my friend. There's no need to drink.
I still had a big bottle of it.
Well, and
drink away.
And I'll promote myself as well because unfortunately I don't have an account on Twitter anymore, but I do have a fan account, which is Daramouthe, which is VERA. Mouthe. And my Discord is an invite only, so DM me if you want in or not. But you can find me here and YouTube under the same name, Daramouthe, and under my name I made up. And I feel like it's something I'm proud of having made because I don't need a number after it. You know, like usernames where you had like Chancer 27 or whatever. I don't need a number. It's just one of those things made up.
You're like Madonna, dude.
Yeah. So and I'm glad I can come up with weird stuff. So but all right, yeah, so 5 minutes still. So anyway, while it's you know what, I have enjoyed having you both on. I hope there could be a time where we could do it again because again, I'm more about having a conversation, whether it be a nothing or a certain thing, which if you have like a nugget you want to spill out like that Sam Bankman or whatever. I really like having those conversations because uh, I've I've never been the more outgoing person in real life. So having this sort of thing is sort of I guess a release in a sense. You know, it's a very enjoyable release, and I like doing it more. But I tend not to be able to get people on because everyone has everything else to do. So you know how that goes.
Oh, dude, if you let me know in advance and I'm off from work, I'll hop on.
Oh well, yeah, I'll let you know through Discord because I know you have something on Twitter X as well, but the fan account that's there, I don't want to get in trouble by saying something it shouldn't, so I'll just keep it whatever.
I need a fan like that, by the way. A fan that will just do what I tell them to do, say what I want them to say. You know,
I shouldn't say that. It's good communication. It's the one thing most people miss
I
out
don't
on.
want that. I don't want that. I want somebody that will do what I tell them to do.
Yeah, well, first you have to get the ring around the neck, and you have to treat him like a hobo. You have to go to the streets of San Francisco.
All right now, all right.
Yeah, go to the streets of San Francisco. Grab someone there who is drugged out on fentanyl.
How's my little shot, Nazi?
I'm starting to see ovens and things in my future. You know.
Please, someone get the methane. She needs more. someone get the laughing gas. She needs to laugh a little more. Hurry. That's what, laughing gas doesn't make you actually laugh. It just makes you relax. And it's
I've had some.
Yeah,
I've had some. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, and the funny thing too about it is that once it's shut off, right? Once it's shut off, you slowly get off it. And I find that to be like, why aren't they used to have oxygen bars back in the day? Why don't they have a laughing gas bar? You just sit there for 15 minutes.
Because if your guy's like, what's his name? Peter Falk from Columbo, he wanted to do a dental procedure when he was like 80, and they accidentally gave him too much laughing gas, and he ended up with dementia.
Jeez.
Actually, the same thing happened to my dad's grandfather.
Really?
Yeah, he ended up with dementia after a simple dental thing, and the only person he. Oh wait, hold on.
Uh-oh.
Oh, let me mute myself for 1 second. I'll tell the story in a second.
Okay. And then he's saying.
I'd have laughed if you didn't work. I'd have laughed so here. Yeah.
Yes, the weather is nice. Yes.
Yes, no. It was very nice. Yeah.
No, I don't owe you the 200. Find someone else.
No. I have StreamYard open for when my brother's ready.
Yeah.
No, so my dad's grandfather ended up with really bad dementia. The only person he was able to remember was my dad, and he had like kind of like an Irish accent. He used to tell him, he was like, Tom, I used to fish in Britain. I used to fish against the cops and the soldiers with dynamite. And my dad was like, what? Turns out he was in the fucking provincial IRA. And my dad found out the reason why he walked with a limp is because he got hit with buckshot.
Wow. Jeez.
Cool stuff.
Well, that's crazy. But all right, I know you have to go. So everyone, I'm going to end the show there because I would continue to talk with these people until the sun came up. So, and I don't think they can last that long. So I want to thank. Yeah, I want to thank my guests. Thank you, Culture. Thank you, Jewey or Jewish, depending on what you want. And I hope to see you next time. I may try to do something before the new year or tomorrow, actually, because I don't have to be strict to like the whole, because everyone's like, this is the last cast. I'm like, why not just do it in the last day? I don't get it. I can still do tomorrow after. So
and do it on the day of, you know.
Yeah. So anyway, but thank you guys so much. I hope to see you all again soon. And remember, we'll talk about points of today to yesteryear, and everything's up for grabs almost. So see you next time. Bye, bye, bye everyone. And